Plantar fasciitis surgery. Plantar fasciitis surgery. A runner's story. A runner's story. If you're watching this video right now, there is a very high likelihood that you have in the past had PF or you are currently suffering from PF, plantar fasciitis. I'm sorry. I get it. I feel the pain, literally, and I'm here to help. I'm going to tell my story that connects to plantar fasciitis, and I'm going to talk to you about what I have had to do in the past and what I'm currently doing now to overcome and defeat plantar fasciitis. And why I'm wearing this t-shirt right now is, first of all, because it's positive. It kind of makes you laugh and smile, and I want to make sure that you runners out there that are suffering, that you don't give up. Keep smiling, keep a positive attitude. You can defeat plantar fasciitis. And I know this kind of sounds intense to start the video, but it's really serious and it hurts. And the PF, you just want to kick it to the curb. But there's hope. There is hope. Hope lives. I promise. I promise. Okay. In 6th grade, I was a soccer player. And then I decided, wait a minute, I'm kind of a small guy. I can't even kick a ball from the corner kick to the goal. I don't have the leg strength. Let's just eliminate the soccer ball. By the way, this was up in Buena Vista, Colorado, where I grew up. And let's just start running. I love running. Boom. No more soccer ball. Let's just run. Let's do what you really, really love. So I switched from soccer to cross country. And that was my first bout with plantar fasciitis in 7th grade. My dad, who is also a runner, you see him there on the screen, when my first bout of PF popped up, he would sit on the couch and massage my foot night after night, working out the PF. This was in 7th grade. Fast forward a lot, all the way to college at the University of Colorado, where I competed on the cross country and track team. My second bout of plantar fasciitis, this time in my right foot, and training at the collegiate level as a Division I athlete is pretty intense. You're putting in a lot of miles, and it's not always easy. And we pounded ground on Magnolia Road, and we pounded ground on the track, and we worked out in these very lightweight spikes. This pair, actually, I still have them. These Nike Milers from the Bill Bowerman series, like a very lightweight track spike that gets you up on your toes, and yes, possibly contributed to my plantar fasciitis popping up in college. This plantar fasciitis in college would not go away. It was so discouraging, and I bet you can connect to this part of my story. You just get so down because you feel like you're doing everything correctly to get rid of it. I even took 3 months off, and this is maybe my first tip of the day. Don't take time off. Unless your doctor tells you to. By the way, I'm not a doctor, but unless your doctor tells you to, with PF, it's not necessarily, and you got to make sure you diagnose it correctly. So go to a podiatrist or your doctor, and they will be able to help you figure out if you actually have PF. But I took 3 months off, 4 months off, that didn't help. As soon as I started back up again, it was still there. We did the night splint. We did injections, cortisone injections, which, by the way, to this day is still the most painful thing in my life, like an injection to the bottom of my heel. Ugh. We did shockwave therapy. We did everything for over the course of 18 months. Nothing would make my PF go away. So, what did I do, ladies and gentlemen? What did I do? And this is something that I have not shared with many of you longtime viewers of the vlog, is that I flew to California. And I had surgery on my PF. I know. I don't necessarily even regret that decision, actually. In fact, it worked. It worked. 6 weeks later, after the surgery, I was able to start running again. And it was a little tender at first, but it was not there. The pain was gone. Now listen, is that the best option? No. Surgery is by far not the best option. But when you're a collegiate athlete, you've got only a small window to be competing at a high level. You have to, at the end of the day, you got to make a decision. And I'm not afraid to make decisions like, all right, this is my decision and I'm going with it. And you never really fully will know if it was the right one. But fast forward again, so that was in college at the University of Colorado. Fast forward again to 10 years later, and I had a bout of PF. It went away quickly. This was 3 years ago from this date right now. And then 2018, July, so 4 months ago, almost 5 months ago from right now, it flared up again this past summer. This time in my other foot, so my left foot. I had the surgery in college in my right foot, and so now in the present, I am no longer a collegiate athlete, but I'm trying to compete at a high level in ultra running and in marathon running and in mountain running. And I believe this current bout with PF was caused because I was running up big mountains and not doing enough maintenance. So I love running big 14,000 foot peaks here in Colorado, but I was not doing enough maintenance to take care of my body and not enough stretching and massaging and all that good stuff. We're gonna get into that in a second. So this is my 4th bout with PF in my life right now. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, just before Thanksgiving, and that's where this t-shirt connects in, where I got this t-shirt. I was racing a 5K in City Park in Denver, Colorado, and I was leading the race. I was about to win the race, about to win this 5K race. I was trying to break 16 minutes as a 33-year-old, if I might add, and I was in first place. Second place was about 10 feet behind me. I was digging. I knew, like, okay, I gotta go right now with 100 meters to go in this race, or else I'm gonna get kicked down, because my speed is okay, but it's not amazing. And so I'm sprinting, turn a corner, sprint, plant, tear. Possible tear to my plantar fasciitis. What would be called a release, a rupture, a tear, a stretch. I don't frankly even know what to call it. But 2 weeks ago, from right now, December 8th, 2018, I believe I ruptured my plantar tendon in my left foot. Okay, I know I just said a lot, but I had to tell you that background as to my experience with plantar fasciitis. Surgery, massaging as a kid, and yes, rupturing. I believe I ruptured my plantar tendon 2 weeks ago in that race. If it wasn't a full rupture, maybe a partial rupture, partial release, something definitely overstretched, and I could feel something go. And so I did not win that race. Because I had surgery, because I believe I ruptured my plantar 2 to 3 weeks ago, I am feeling better. My PF is basically non-existent. Very rarely does it hurt now. For better or worse, that's what happened. And I did that race in the Vaporfly 4%, which has a carbon fiber plate in this shoe. Did that contribute to the possible rupturing of my plantar? I don't know. But just wanted to let you know, this is reality and this is what happened. I was wearing this shoe. But before I ruptured my PF 2 to 3 weeks ago, I was in a lot of pain. Probably a similar amount of pain to what you are suffering from if you have PF in your foot or feet right now. And here's just a few mistakes that I think I made over the last 4 to 5 months, and even frankly, throughout my life with respect to not taking care of my feet and my PF. Here it is. The first mistake. Stretching too hard at first and not stretching before getting out of bed in the morning. PF often is the worst in the morning before you get out of bed. It can really be painful, that first step when you get out of the bed. You know what I'm talking about. And so, laying in bed, stretching before you get out of bed has helped so much. Second mistake, likely massaging my heel area too much with this little wooden toy that I have for my kids and not focusing on stretching and massaging my arch enough. I was massaging my heel because it felt so good, and it's like you're trying to just dig in and kind of break up a little bit of that scar tissue in there. But in retrospect, I have learned through a lot of research, through listening to a lot of you on YouTube, that it's more effective to stretch and massage slowly and gently your arch. Because your arch is what actually you need to loosen that up so that you can basically take the tension off of the tendon where it's connected to the calcaneus bone, which is your heel bone in the bottom of your foot. And so you don't actually want to massage your heel very much. You want to at all, actually. You want to massage your arch, and you want to stretch your arch as much as possible. Third mistake, not strengthening my feet enough and my ankles enough with specific exercises, one of them being scrunching up a towel with your toes. That is a very, very effective way to basically stretch out your PF and then to strengthen all of those ligaments, tendons, muscles in the bottom of your foot. So that has been so incredibly important for overcoming my PF. Before I ruptured my PF, I was getting better, but I think I was fortunate to actually rupture or release it in this race. It's crazy. I know it's crazy, and listen, probably 99% of you will never do that, okay? It just kind of happened. It just happened. I don't even know what else to say. But before that, what was working for me? I was making small, teeny tiny steps forward with overcoming, and this is what I was doing. And it was working. But then it just happened, the PF release. Gentle stretching, not too aggressive. So just gently stretching my calf, my soleus, and because you don't want to feel the pain right where that tendon attaches to your heel. Like if you are overstretching too much, you're actually going to be inflaming that tendon and it's just going to bark at you. It's going to be very, very upset with you. So don't overstretch, just gentle stretching through the calf, the soleus, and yes, the bottom of your foot, specifically your big toe. Gently pulling your big toe back, and that'll just ever so slightly, and go slow, stretch out the bottom of your foot and specifically the inside of that tendon, the fascia tendon on the bottom of your foot. I cannot stress this enough. Massaging your calf, your soleus, and yes, your arch. Don't massage your heel too much, maybe a little bit. Try and avoid the heel area as much as possible. Focus a little more on that arch. If you need to hire someone to do it for you, if you have the money, I would highly, highly recommend it. I was able to do that in the last 6 weeks, and her name's Katie. Thank you, Katie. And it's helped so much. But you can also do it on your own. It's not going to be as effective, but if you can't afford a physical therapist or a masseuse, you can do it on your own. Just be careful if you're doing it on your own, because you don't want to overdo it when it comes to that heel area specifically. Icing after runs is good. Icing your foot, icing your heel, icing your arch is good. But I also, to help if you're in the middle of your track season or your cross-country season, or you're getting ready for a marathon and you've got like 2 weeks to go and you need to get through this, to get through those last workouts or to get through the race, I have been soaking my foot in pretty hot water with Epsom salt, which is basically it relaxes your muscles and your tendons, and it helps relax your body, this Epsom salt. So I have been doing that a lot in the last 8 weeks before a training session or before a race, just to help, again, take the edge off. 2 more things. Don't forget your plantar fasciitis. Yes, it hurts in your foot, but it really starts in your lower back. I know that's crazy, but from your lower back, through your glutes, through your hamstrings, through your calves, your soleus, all the way down to that fascia tendon on the bottom of your foot. It's all connected. It's a big rubber band, basically. So if that rubber band is too tight in your hamstrings, which is my scenario, my hamstrings are so tight, I continue to work on them and stretch them. You gotta stretch. You don't want to just stretch the bottom of your foot. It starts up, frankly, in your lower back and your glutes. Don't be afraid to stretch all. In fact, I shouldn't say it that way. Stretch, no matter what, your glutes, your hamstrings, and your lower back. That will slowly release the tension, which is then going to be, it's like a chain reaction all the way down your legs, down eventually to your fascia tendon in the bottom of your foot. And the last tip for overcoming your PF is this foot log. It's designed for massaging the bottom of your foot. It's designed by a doctor. I love it. And yes, it's available down below from Amazon. Love this thing. But what I have found it to be almost just as effective for is stretching the bottom of my foot. So what I'll do is I'll just stand on top of it, not with all of my weight, just almost though. I'll just ease into it where I'll put more and more weight onto my arch slowly, like a tortoise. Go slow, but just slowly stretch those muscles and that big fascia tendon, that big yellow piece of tape you see on the bottom of my foot. That is your fascia tendon. That's what it looks like inside of your foot. And so you want to step onto that foot log and just put your weight onto that foot log, and slowly it'll stretch out that tendon. And I would recommend doing this 3 times a day, holding it for 3 sets of 2 minutes for 3 times a day. So I know that's a lot. So 3 times 2, that's 6 minutes. 6 times 3 is 18 minutes a day. If you can do this 18 minutes a day, I promise, and ease into it. Don't just do that in the first day. Ease into it. But I promise you're going to slowly feel that fascia stretch out, and eventually, it might take time, and this is where the patience comes in, but eventually the bottom, the where it's pulling away from your heel bone, that's going to slowly stretch out, and it's not going to be pulling on your calcaneus bone, which is where that pain comes from, right? Most likely on the inside of your heel. Ugh. You're just, so that is maybe my number 1 tip with this foot log is just stand on it and slowly stretch that fascia tendon. Now I know I just talked to you for a long time. This is a little bit of a unique daily vlog. I get it, but I just had to hit this topic because I know so many of you are suffering, and you're letting me know that you're suffering down in the comments. And by the way, let me know if you are suffering down in the comments. But I'm here for you. I'm here to answer your questions. Make sure you ask your questions down in the comments. I guess my top 2 tips are stretching and massage. Stretching and massage. I think I could have overcome, now that in retrospect, right, looking back, I think I could have defeated my PF in college if I would have been a little more aggressive in my massaging and stretching. I just didn't quite attack it well enough. And I'm telling you, if you do the things every single day, the stretching and massaging, it's going to take time, but I promise it's going to go away. And if it doesn't, come back and tell me down in the comments. Oh, and yes, the key word of the day is release. It will release. It might take some, and hopefully you don't have to release it how I did in the race. Don't do that. But it will release slowly if you are consistent and patient in your maintenance of your body. And the question of the day, and I know not everybody can answer this, but have you ever suffered from plantar fasciitis? If so, what did you do specifically to help you overcome it? And I may have already asked a question similar to what I just asked. I get it. But I know there's a lot of new subscribers. Welcome, by the way. Let us know down in the comments if you've ever suffered and how you overcame it. If you have not had plantar fasciitis, do you know someone who has had it? Or maybe you have had it in the past and it's gone, or maybe you're currently suffering, but all of us runners probably know someone who has suffered. So let's get the conversation going. Thank you for answering the question of the day and for typing release down in the comments. Thank you. We're gonna do it. I'm telling you, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Come on, YouTube. Come on, help each other, help each other. All right, because I was aggressive in attacking my PF, and I realize I'm a little bit of a unique situation because I believe my fascia released in that race, but mine was getting better by doing everything that I just told you in the last, 20 minutes. And thank you for being here, by the way, for so long. But I'm telling you guys, you can overcome this. I did not touch upon all the points that I would like to, but I also want to respect your time. All I'm saying is thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. And don't forget that we're here together on this journey of life. And we're gonna get through. We're gonna get through. All right? All right, I'm out. Night run. Love you. And yes, let's seek beauty. Work hard at defeating that PF. And love each other. See you tomorrow.